Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. In remote parts of the Philippines, public transport is often built around need before comfort. Roads can be narrow, uneven, and far from regular bus routes, so people create vehicles that match the terrain and the income of the community. One of the most practical examples is the multi-seat motor coaster, a small motorcycle transformed into a long passenger carrier for villages where one trip must serve many people at once. For drivers such as Kyle Mamulang, the multi-coaster is more than a modified bike. It is a daily livelihood and a lifeline for neighbors who need to reach school, farms, shops, markets, churches, and nearby towns. In areas where families may not own private vehicles, a single machine that can carry several passengers becomes the cheapest link between scattered homes and basic services. The customization begins with extending the motorcycle beyond its original design. Local builders add a long metal frame, extra seating, side supports, footrests, handles, and sometimes a roof or small cover against sun and rain. The motorcycle engine remains the power source, but the body becomes closer to a stretched tricycle or rural minibus. Every added bar has a purpose: balance weight, protect feet from the road, and keep the vehicle stable when climbing or turning. Before the day's trips begin, the driver checks the machine like a professional mechanic. Brakes are tested, oil and fuel are checked, bolts are tightened, and the chain or drive system is inspected. Tires are examined because one soft tire can affect the whole load. The driver listens to the engine, watches for smoke, and checks whether the added frame is still firm. A weak weld or loose nut can become dangerous once the coaster is full. Boarding follows a rhythm known by regular passengers. People gather at the roadside or a familiar stop, then climb onto the long seats one by one. Some carry bags, school items, farm tools, or small market goods. Once underway, the ride is slow but useful. The driver keeps the throttle steady, avoids deep holes, and gives wide turns because the long body needs more space than an ordinary motorcycle. On uphill roads, passengers may lean forward while the engine works harder. On descents, the driver controls speed carefully because the vehicle is carrying many lives with very little protection around them. The multi-coaster is also used for goods transportation. When passengers are fewer, sacks, baskets, produce, crates, and household supplies can fill the seats or floor space. Farmers use it to move crops. Families use it to bring goods from town. Shopkeepers use it to restock small stores. What cannot justify a truck can still move by coaster. Its importance is measured in connection. A remote community becomes less isolated when people can travel more often. Send children to school with less walking, reach clinics faster, and carry goods to market before they spoil. The vehicle may look improvised, but it solves one of rural life's biggest problems: distance. In places where formal transport is limited, the multi-seat coaster turns a motorcycle into shared mobility, creating income for the driver and movement for everyone else. This is why riders accept the noise, close seating, and bumpy road. The machine is affordable, available, and familiar. It does not promise luxury. It promises arrival. For many passengers, that is enough. Each trip also depends on trust. Passengers know the driver knows the road, and the vehicle becomes part of the village routine. Morning runs carry workers and students outward. Afternoon runs bring them home. When rain falls, mud slows the wheels, but the coaster still keeps the route alive. In this kind of transport, success is not measured by speed, but by how many people and goods can move safely with one small engine. The driver becomes a mechanic, conductor, porter, and navigator, adjusting each journey to the road, the weather, and the passengers waiting at the next bend. This keeps village life moving daily. From the hills of the Philippines, the story moves to Colombia, where another improvised transport system runs on abandoned rail tracks. In San Cipriano and Cordoba, the route into town is unusual because the settlement is connected by a rail line through rainforest and river country. Instead of ordinary buses or cars, locals and visitors ride motor rollers known as brujitas, small platforms powered by motorcycles and balanced on the rails. The brujita is a direct answer to isolation. San Cipriano is known for clear river water, forest, tourism, and a community that depends on access for both visitors and residents. When regular rail service no longer served the area in the same way, people adapted what remained. The abandoned track became a road, and the motorcycle became an engine for a homemade rail cart. For riders such as Fabio Sinistera Cuero, the brujita is a livelihood. The machine carries tourists, local passengers, bags, food supplies, and small cargo along the track. Its construction is simple but clever. A wooden or metal platform is mounted on small rail wheels or rollers that sit on the tracks. A motorcycle is attached to the side or rear, with its rear tire pressing against a roller or the rail driving mechanism. When the motorcycle accelerates, the platform moves forward along the track. Before departure, the rider checks the motorcycle, fuel, brakes, wheel contact, platform balance, and seating. Passengers sit low on benches or boards, keeping their arms and legs clear. Luggage is placed carefully so it does not fall into the track or upset the balance. Since the vehicle runs on rails, steering is limited, so the operator's main control is speed, spacing, and awareness. The journey feels different from road travel. The brujita follows the steel line through green surroundings, over bridges, and past sections where the forest presses close. The rider listens for other carts, watches, curves, and keeps enough distance to react. Because the track is shared, coordination matters. If another brujita approaches from the opposite direction, one vehicle may have to stop, lift, shift, or wait at a passing point. Tourism gives the motor roller special value. Visitors ride it as part of the experience of reaching San Cipriano, but for locals, it is practical transport. It helps move people to work, brings supplies into the community, and connects the town to outside roads. The machine is not polished or factory-made, but it turns abandoned infrastructure into daily opportunity. Like the Philippine multicoaster, the Colombian brujita shows how transport grows from available materials. A motorcycle, a platform, a rail line, and local skill become a public service. The track may have lost its original purpose, but the people gave it a second life. Every trip carries more than passengers. It carries the creativity of a community refusing to be cut off by distance. In remote places, that kind of invention can matter as much as a paved road, because it protects trade, tourism, school travel, and family visits each week. In Japan, handmade transport carries a very different image. The rickshaw, or jinrikisha, became popular in the late 19th century as a human-pulled carriage for city streets. Once used widely before cars, buses, and trains took over, it now survives mostly as a cultural and tourism experience in places such as Kyoto, Tokyo's Asakusa district, and other historic areas where visitors want to see the city at a slower pace. A modern rickshaw puller begins the day with preparation. The vehicle is cleaned, wheels are checked, tires are inspected, handles are wiped, and the seat is arranged for passengers. A small blanket, cover, or cushion may be placed for comfort. The puller also prepares personally because the job demands stamina, posture, and presentation. Uniforms are neat. Shoes are chosen for grip. And routes are reviewed before customers arrive. The rickshaw itself is simple but refined. It has two large wheels, a light frame, a passenger seat, a canopy or folding cover, suspension support, footrests, and long shafts held by the puller. The design keeps the passenger balanced over the axle, so one person can pull the load with less strain. Even so, climbing streets, stopping safely, and turning through crowds demand strength and control. Boarding is part of the service. The puller parks the rickshaw steadily, helps passengers step in, explains the route, and secures any cover or blanket. Once ready, the shafts lift, the puller leans forward, and the carriage begins to move. The pace is smooth enough for sightseeing but fast enough to cover ground. The puller watches pedestrians, bicycles, cars, curbs, and traffic lights, while also explaining temples, streets, shops, and local history. A typical day can involve several tours. Some are short rides for photos and atmosphere. The puller must manage timing, weather, passenger comfort, and physical effort. Arrival is handled with the same care as boarding. The rickshaw stops near a safe place. The puller lowers the shafts, helps passengers step down, and answers questions. The vehicle then returns to the stand or moves to the next pickup point. From the Philippine multi-coaster to Colombia's brujita and Japan's rickshaw, transport is shaped by local needs. One carries villagers through rural roads, one rides rails through forest, and one turns old city travel into culture. Each machine proves that the simplest vehicles can connect people, work, memory, and movement. Their value is not only mechanical, it is social, because every driver, rider, or puller becomes part of the route, the story, and the local economy around it today, too. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.